What's up, Mark?
What's going on?
I haven't talked to you in many moons, man.
No, it's been a while. I mean, I think the last time I saw you maybe was at an Anvil show in Chicago.
Gosh, that's right, man. It was at the House of Blues.
House of Blues, I think that was it, yeah.
What year was that?
Ooh, I think we're probably going back to 2010, 11, something like that.
Wow, that's crazy. That was a cool Anvil show, except for after the show, Lips got all mad at me because we got in a weird conversation about the band, and I said the wrong thing, and he got all butthurt for a while.
Yeah, well, it ended so early, and then they kicked everybody out. We had some issues with the venue and security and stuff like that, but, I mean, otherwise the show was good. That was right at the peak after the movie came out. Boy,
that Anvil movie and book was so good. I loved it.
Yep, I thought it was amazing, and I was glad to see him get a shot like that, to get a little shot in the arm with that movie coming out and everybody picking up a little bit on him, because they've kind of had a hard career up and down.
Well, you remember being back in the 70s and 80s, dude. We'd go to record stores and see all these cool Anvil vinyl records, and I always remembered the pictures of Lips with his flying V and just the way he looked and his little get up and stuff. And the artwork was always so distinctive.
Yep, he kind of had that little bondage outfit on and stuff.
And his little toys, quote unquote.
Yep, quote unquote, yep.
What a trip, man. But then, of course, you have Impetigo, which was your band at the time. Now, you guys don't do like reunion gigs or anything like that. Like, you're broken up, right?
We're broken up. I mean, we did Urbana in 2007. That was kind of our 14-year 20th anniversary, I guess it was. And by the way, congratulations on your 20th anniversary there.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Send that out. I mean, that's no easy feat in these days,
No doubt, right? You just have to be.
But we did the 2007 show. That was our 20th anniversary, and I don't see us playing again. I mean, we get a constant stream of offers. I mean, it never ends. But I don't know. I kind of think we've found our niche. We've made our peace with it.
Yeah. Well, it's cool though. You guys, had quite a history, and you guys are have a lot of respect as the kind of the innovators with grindcore. But what would you call that? What do you describe Impetigo as?
If you look over the history of the band, it was kind of fast punk to grind to death metal, I guess is how I'd kind of see it. So you always have a kind of a camp that likes the Ultimo album and a camp that likes the Horror of the Zombies because it's more death metal, Ultimo's more grind, but you really don't have people that don't like one or the other. They just prefer one or more.
Yeah, it's true. And I always liked all the stuff you guys did. You guys were always very unique, much different than all the other metal bands, and no disrespect intended to anyone else, but you guys were just always so unique and cool, and heavy.
Well, yeah, I mean, our influences range, from punk to grind to death metal, traditional metal, hardcore. We just kind of put it all in a blender and press liquefy, and it's kind of the way it came out. Steve-O's amazing songwriter and very creative, so I mean he just kind of drove the band to why people still listen to us today, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like, what is not to love? You have a Impetigo salad.
Yeah, I would say you can definitely hear influences in our sound, but our sound is definitely doesn't sound like anybody else.
And you also were among the first bands to use clips from films as intros for your songs. Like a lot of bands do that now, but you were like one of the very first.
Yeah, we were one of the first, and I think we always even took it to the next step by choosing films that a lot of people wouldn't see. We didn't choose like Hellraiser or Evil Dead. We chose like a guinea pig from Japan or something crazy like that.
Guinea pig from Japan. That's funny.
Yeah,
man.
It's like, I still to this day get people like, what is each intro to each song? What movie is it from,
Oh, okay. Yeah, trivia buffs probably want to know all that stuff, huh?
Yeah, they want to know, or they want to search out the films. That was kind of part of our reason for doing it, because we were such horror fanatics that we exposed people to a lot of movies they'd never heard of before.
And it was also a lot of fun when you were recording your first album. You guys invited me to come into the studio, and I got to write a spoken word piece, and I got to do some backing vocals on your first album, and that was a lot of fun, man.
And that was perfect. I mean, you nailed it. You came in, just kind of did it off the cuff, but nailed it. And I remember when you came to Indy and did it live with us.
That's right. There was a club called The Ritz, and I drove there with my friend Ross. I think it was him. And we drove up to Indiana, about a 4-hour drive north, and I got to perform with Impetigo. Yep. That was the only time I believe I ever performed that with you guys.
That was the only time that's ever probably been played live, or if we played it before, we didn't have your part in it, obviously.
And you know,
So that was cool, you know.
I recently found that videotape, so I'm going to get that up on my YouTube channel. I've got the actual performance of me doing that with you guys at the Ritz.
It's actually on our DVD, too. We have an official DVD that came out, like, maybe 10 years ago, and that show is on there, so that's on there, too.
Wow, I did not know that, so that's something else I'll have to try to get for my collection now.
Yeah, if I can find one, I'll snag one for you, because, you know, it's just cool that show's on there, a show from '88, the 2007 show is on there, so it's got a good mix of the history of Impetigo on there.
Yeah, well, I definitely need to get a copy of that, and also I've got to get a copy of, there's something else I was asking you about.
You're asking me about the tribute CD.
Yeah, there's an Impetigo tribute CD. A band
There's actually two of them.
Really?
But one of them is, it's just a tribute to the song Boneyard. So like 30-some bands just all do their own version of Boneyard. And they're
what?
all over the place. It was a Czech label that put it out, and it's just like we're getting ready to kind of re-release it because it was one of those professionally burned CDR releases.
Yeah, well, the crazy Czechoslovakians, man.
If somebody wants to put it out, and it's like just every band doing that song, which is
wow.
That's our most popular song, but there's not too many tributes to just a song, you know?
No, I've never heard of that ever. That is so cool. That's genius, dude. Wow.
Yeah, it is pretty sick. When that came out, and I was just like, some of these, I'm like, is that Boneyard? You can't even tell it's that song, but that's what's cool about it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to definitely look for the other, the tribute that has, you know, your different songs on there. I can't wait to get a copy of that.
Yeah, the Wizards of Gore, it was called, and it's got bands from around the world. A lot of bands that were influenced to us took part on it, which was super cool, because, that's the biggest honor when somebody covers one of your songs to me.
Oh, for sure, man. I'm going to be jumping on eBay trying to find a copy of these things when I get off the air tonight.
Right on. I appreciate it.
You still get in touch with the other? Are you still in touch with Steve-O and Dan and Scotty, the other guys from Impetigo?
Steve-O, yes, on a regular basis, because we still, do all the Impetigo releases. I don't know if you've seen how cassettes have come back, and we're doing cassettes of all of our stuff, and all of our stuff's mostly in print, and we still make deals and all that stuff. So me and Steve-O are always in touch. Scott, I haven't seen since the 2007 show, and Dan, it's probably been a good maybe 8 years since I heard from him, but I was in touch with him for a while, but I haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, that's been a minute, man. Wow, I wonder what those guys are doing.
Yeah, Scott, when all the Impetigo reissues came out, I sent it all to Dan, and Dan said Scott never even came and picked up his copy, so it's kind of, I'm not sure even how to contact him at this moment,
Well, that's crazy, man. I had band members like that too that just kind of didn't care,
Yeah, Scott's always busy with something, but at least he came back for the 2007 reunion because we were able to get the complete entire lineup back together, which a lot of bands can't pull that off when they do a reunion,
Yeah, that's tough, man. Really tough. You can usually get everyone, but there's always like one guy that doesn't get along or one guy that's dead, or there's always something,
Yeah, for us it was a blast. We went to Dan's house and practiced, and it was just kind of like the old times, ripping on each other and doing all this and that. So it was fun, but it's just a lot of work. We're not a professional band that played a ton of shows, so if we want to play a show, it takes us a while to put it back together. I had to get the records out and sit down and basically relearn all the songs because I didn't know how to play them anymore.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. Jeez. How many shows did Impetigo play back in the day? Do you have any idea how many total gigs you guys did?
I would say from 87 to 93, maybe 50 tops, and a ton of those were early days in Bloomington Normal before we got banned from the gallery. We've sometimes played every weekend of a month,
Yeah, I remember being on the bill with you guys more than once. And why did you get banned from the gallery, can I ask?
It had to do with, we did that show at Rocky's parking lot, which was a bar downtown. It was Parents' Day weekend, and somehow somebody got the town of Normal to agree to do like a Naked Hippie Impetigo Leviathan show. So we did that, and Steve-O passed out flyers that had the original Ultimo cassette artwork on it, which is a very graphic image from a cannibal film, and I guess a kid took it home and his mom found it and wrote to the city council.
I remember that now, okay.
And then he sent a letter to Mother Murphy's because it referenced our stuff was being sold at Mother Murphy's, and then Cup, who was the owner of Mother Murphy's and the gallery, like freaked out because, you know, they threatened legal action, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Huh. So that was the end of our shows at the gallery.
That's right. I remember that now. Now that you tell me, I do remember at the time knowing that stuff. What a trip.
Yeah, it was an artwork controversy. It was down, you know, around the time of the dead Kennedys, Frankenchrist, and printers were really afraid to print anything that had naked male genitalia on it.
It's true. We were talking.
And that was the problem with our album cover, the original one, because it had a lot of that on it, and because it was cannibal, so that's why we had to completely redo a new cover for Ultimo, where they wouldn't have carried it, you know.
True, true.
So we kind of got swept up into that controversy.
Yeah, I remember back when Jello was going through his massive crucifixion in the press and with all that censorship stuff with the PMRC too. It just went on for a while, and you guys did sort of get caught up in that. I remember being at not only a local thing, but a national thing, and hearing about it and thinking, wow, really? Over just some genitalia?
Right, and especially our printers were in California, so that was where it was kind of all going down, you know?
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, darn, man, we were talking a few months back about doing our Halloween show and stuff, and I thought, I've been seeing Mark online and thought I'd get a hold of you. I thought you'd be a perfect band to play for our show, and I thought, well, if we're gonna play Impetigo on the show, why not talk to Mark? So it's been real cool having you on, dude. And I
appreciate it, and you picked a great choice for Halloween because that song we've always considered is like a horror movie put to music.
Yeah, my friends, if you're listening right now and you're a fan of Impetigo, thank you for tuning into the Church of Rock tonight. Marcus Carcass, a.k.a. Mark Impetigo, a.k.a. Mark SAWICKIS, guitarist for the legendary Impetigo. Certainly appreciate it. We're going to do a track, Sister Tracy. It's called Breakfast at the Manchester Morgue. I love that title.
I'm so ready.
Great movie.
It's from a movie. That's where it's inspired from.
Yeah.
Yes, it's inspired directly from a movie, and the lyrics play very close along to the movie.
Very cool, my friend. Well, give it up, my friend. It's Marcus Carcass. Thanks for making the time, and I hope you have a great Halloween, my brother.
Thank you. You too, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Mark.
Thank you so much, Tracy.
Yep, keep in touch, and long live Impetigo.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, brother.
Yep. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. And there you have it, our great chat with our friend Mark SAWICKIS.
Yeah, nice guy. He really is.
Mark Impetigo. Hey, Steve-O, if you're listening, I miss you, man. Hey, let's do Impetigo, Sister Tracy. We've only got 10 more minutes, and then we're going to do 1 extra hour tonight.
We are, and we're going to fill it full of great rock and roll songs.
All Halloween, buddy.
Maybe a little blues that'll give you nightmares well past Halloween.
We've got some real creepy stuff picked out.
For now, we've got Impetigo, Breakfast at the Manchester Morgue here on KSKQ in the Church of Rock.